Jai Hind everyone. Myself Dr. Kamal Kumar Mittal, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department. Today I am going to discuss the analysis of the energy resources, basically renewable and non-renewable energy resources. In the last session we have discussed about the basics of the course content. It is having 5 units. In this subject we have discussed about the different form of energy like kinetic energy, potential energy, how the energy is transformed from one form to another form. Then we have discussed about the heat engine, refrigeration, heat pump, different cycles like gas operated cycle, air standard cycles, then vapor power cycles, steam turbine, etc. in the first unit. In second unit we have discussed about the basics of different fundamental forces of the universe, nuclear forces, nuclear reactors, nuclear fission and fusion reactions, radioactivity, etc. Then we have discussed about some solar energy resources, some geothermal energy resources, etc. And finally we have discussed about the energy audit. The basic purpose of energy audit is to reduce the wastage of energy and how effectively we can utilize the energy resources. There may be some rainwater harvesting system. We have also discussed the green building. In the current session, we will discuss the analysis of renewable energy resources. There are different types of renewable energy resources like solar energy, geothermal energy, wind energy. Then we have different component of solar energy like radiations, solar cell, collectors, etc. Then we are having some non-renewable energy resources like petrol, coal, and different gases. So continuing with the session, there are different sources of energy. So conventional energy resources. Conventional means the sources which are basically limited in nature and they are harmful to human being and the nature also because they are polluting the atmosphere. ये काफी मात्रा में प्रदूषण फैलाते हैं, इनकी मात्रा निश्चित है, they are depleting continuously. That's why some renewable energy resources, solar energy resources and other resources are taking place of these resources. Means they are replaced by the renewable energy resources. We are having the term conventional means not unusual. They will not last forever. इनको बनने में काफी समय लगा है. Million of years are taking place to build up this type of resources. But now they are limited in nature. Like natural gas, coal. We are using coal for converting the water into steam form. Means the heat energy of coal is required to convert water into steam. Then the steam is transferred to the steam turbine and then the steam turbine is used to generate electricity by using generator. So we need coal. But nowadays the problem of decomposition means जो राख बनती है कोल से उसकी एक समस्या उत्पन्न हुई है और इसका रिसोर्स लिमिटेड है. So we need some other resources for heating the water. So for that we can utilize the renewable energy resources like solar energy, because solar energy we are having in abundance and it is green. It can be renewed again and again. Now non-conventional energy resources. So using energy from sources which cannot be used up like sun, wind, water and waves. So waves means we are using because of the gravitational forces of the sun and the moon, some waves high generated. These are called tidal waves and these waves are used for generating the non-conventional energy resources. These are the resources which are limited in nature. which are in abundance, and we can use these resources again and again. So using energy from sources like sun, wind, water and waves. Waves means tidal waves. So tidal waves, these waves are generated because of the lunar effect, means the gravitational force due to the moon and sun. So these high waves are responsible for some utilization purposes, for some commercial utilization purposes. So renewable energy comes from sources which cannot be used up, such as wind, sun, water and waves, rather than from fossil fuels. So now we will discuss these resources in detail. तो सोलर एनर्जी, सौर ऊर्जा से जो एनर्जी हमें मिलती है उसे सोलर एनर्जी कहते हैं. सो इट इज अवेलेबल एवरीवेयर एंड इट इज आल्सो बेनिफिट फॉर द ह्यूमन बीइंग. हमें विटामिन डी की पूर्ति के लिए सौर ऊर्जा की आवश्यकता होती है. बट फॉर अदर पर्पसेस लाइक वी आर यूजिंग द वाटर, मीन्स वाटर वी आर यूजिंग बाय कलेक्टिंग द वाटर फ्रॉम इन फॉर्म ऑफ सम टैंक, क्योंकि पानी लगातार फ्लो कर रहा है, इट इज फ्लोइंग कंटिन्यूअसली. सो वी हैव टू डिजाइन ए सिस्टम so that we can utilize the water effectively. Similarly, in case of solar energy, it is available everywhere, but for utilizing it effectively, we have to collect the radiations effectively. So we have to design the system so that we can utilize this energy in an effective manner. So for that, first we have to study the radiations. So there are different type of radiations. Number one, extra terrestrial radiation. Number two is terrestrial radiation. So besides that, we are also defining the radiation in form of direct radiation and indirect radiation. So जब हम एनालिसिस की बात करते हैं तो फर्स्ट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट ऑफ द एनर्जी, मींस रेडिएशंस क्या है, कलेक्टर क्या है, क्या सोलर सेल है, क्या सोलर बैटरी है. सो एक्स्ट्रा टेरेस्ट्रियल रेडिएशंस, सो एक्स्ट्रा टेरेस्ट्रियल रेडिएशंस आर द रेडिएशन विच आर कमिंग फ्रॉम द सन एंड रीचेस टू द सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ इन एब्सेंस ऑफ अर्थ एटमॉस्फेयर. मीन्स अर्थ की एटमॉस्फेयर की अनुपस्थिति में जो रेडिएशन पृथ्वी की सतह पर पहुंचते हैं सूर्य के द्वारा उत्सर्जित होते हुए, वो रेडिएशन एक्स्ट्रा टेरेस्ट्रियल रेडिएशन कहलाते हैं. सो लाइक सपोज दिस इज द सरफेस ऑफ द अर्थ. एंड this is the atmosphere. This is sun and this is the earth atmosphere. Now rays are coming from sun. So these rays are get reflected by the earth atmosphere. Some of the portion get reflected. Back. And some of the radiation get absorbed by this atmosphere. So the remaining portions, means nearly 70% of the radiations reaches to the surface of the earth. So extraterrestrial radiations are the radiation which are reaches to the surface of the earth in the absence of atmosphere, and when the atmosphere is present, so only 70% of the radiations are reaches to the surface of the earth. This is called the terrestrial radiations. And the radiations which are directly touches the surface of the earth without any aerosols or obstacles in the path of the rays, these are called direct radiations. Direct radiation. And the rays, when get scattered by some obstacle, like means some disturbance is there, so they get reflected and then reaches to the surface of the earth. They are called indirect radiations. So these are the different type of radiations. These are the fundamentals of the energy resources of the solar system. Now second is the collector. So collector is again an important parameter when we are going to study or when we are designing a solar panel or solar system, because collector means, like in case of water, we are designing different type of means अलग अलग तरह की टंकी और एक पाथ उसका डिजाइन करते हैं हम कि किस तरह से टंकी से पानी हमारे पास तक पहुंचे पाइप के माध्यम से. Similarly, there are different type of collectors which is responsible for collecting the radiations. Therefore, we can design a system in such a manner so that if maximum amount of radiations can be utilized for heating the working fluid. And at the same time, जो sun की direction है वो change होती रहती है. So accordingly, the collector should be designed in such a manner that they should change its orientation as per the change of the direction of the sun. So there are different types of collectors. Number one is concentrating collector. Second is non-concentrating collector. So in non-concentrating collector, we can say we are having the flat plate collector. Okay, so flat plate collector is nothing but like we are having this sheet, transparent sheet. Radiations are coming here. Now we are having a absorber plate here. So these radiations passes through this sheet, and here we are having the tubes. So this is a absorber. These radiations get absorbed by this plate, and we are having this fluid passage. Fluid passages means जो भी रेडिएशंस हैं वो इस प्लेट के द्वारा अवशोषित होने के बाद जो उसकी एनर्जी है वो जो फ्लूइड इस पाइप्स में फ्लो कर रहा है उसमें ट्रांसफर हो जाती है और this fluid gets converted into vapor form or steam form, and this energy get utilized means जो hot fluid है that can be used for driving the turbine blades, and therefore electricity is generated. But the disadvantage of this type of collector is that the radiations which are coming here and here, these are wastage. Means इन रेडिएशंस को हम यूज नहीं कर पाते हैं. So therefore we are using the second type of collector, which is called concentrating collector. So in concentrating collector, we are having the parabolic collector. Parabolic collector. There are also some mirror type of collector. There are number of concentrating collectors. These are the collectors which is required as per the requirement arises. जैसी आवश्यकता होती है उसके according we are using the collectors. So in parabolic collectors, it is having like this. It is having a curvature and radiations. These are coming here parallel to each other, and there is a focal point, center is there. So after that, these radiations get reflected and reaches to this area, revert back. So this is the concentrating point, means heated affected zone. So what we are going to do, basically we are concentrated all radiations to one particular region, so that this get heated maximum, and the fluid which is flowing through this area, or we are having a pipe, utilizes its energy maximum and converted into vapor form. So these are the different type of collector. In the coming session or in coming lectures, we will discuss more about the different type of materials we are using in collectors. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Different type of collectors also. There may be focusing and non-focusing collectors also. Then third is the solar cell. So solar cell is basically a small, like this is a small solar cell. So the purpose of this cell is to convert the solar energy into electricity form. So as per the requirement, if the demand is more, so we need more number of solar cells, so the design changes. So it is having a solar cell, single solar cell. When we need, जब हमें ज़्यादा ऊर्जा की, ज़्यादा एनर्जी की आवश्यकता है, ज़्यादा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की जरूरत है, then what we can do, we can convert into a modular form like this. We can connect these cells horizontally or so we connect all these. This makes one complete module. So when number of solar cells are connected to each other, this makes one complete module. Means we need more electricity, more amount of energy. Now, if we need more than this, then what we can do, we can connect all these and make a panel. So like this, we are having a panel. So these two modules becomes a panel. There may be 2-3 modules in such a manner. Now we need more energy, so we need arrangement when combining these panel and makes one array. So what we can do, we can make similar here. Similarly, so this 4 becomes, when we combine this, this makes one array. So first solar cell, this is a single component, then connecting these solar cells in series and parallel, which makes one module, then connecting these modules, which makes one panel. This is the panel is there, then connecting panels to each other, then it makes an array. तो जैसी ऊर्जा की आवश्यकता होती है, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की जरूरत होती है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम अपना सिस्टम डिजाइन करते हैं. So these are the basic terms when we analyzing the energy. So we should know, and we have to know that what are solar cell, what is module, and what are the advantages and disadvantages. And we are having the different generation of solar cells that we will discuss in, means we are having basically 3 generation of solar cell, first, second and third. These generation of solar cell we will discuss in the coming session. Then comes the solar battery. तो जो ऊर्जा है वो हमें मिल गई है, वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट होगी. बट व्हाट इज द मैकेनिज्म, what is the mechanism that converts the solar energy into electricity form? So what is happening? The radiations which are coming and falls on the surface of a body, this body having the electrons and hole pair. So these electrons and hole pairs are in thermal equilibrium. They are in equilibrium. So when the radiation falls in it, and because of the photons, this equilibrium breaks. जो ये equilibrium में होते हैं electron and hole pair, ये equilibrium break हो जाता है, and hole pair is moving in one side and electrons are moving in another side. So these small components are basically the hole pair, holes, and these are the electrons. So electrons are moving to this side, and the concentration of this side becomes high and high electron oriented, and holes are moving to this side, and this becomes the p type. So because holes are concentrated to this end, so this becomes the p side, and this makes a p-n junction. Now when we connect this with some load plus minus, or we are having some, like we are having some bulb, you can say. So current is flowing from this direction to this direction, and this behaves like a small battery. So this way the solar energy, जो सौर ऊर्जा है, वो विद्युत ऊर्जा में कन्वर्ट होती है. So these are the basic component of solar energy. In the coming slide we will discuss more about the applications, like for heating purposes we are using solar energy, for making foods, and design of the solar system, different materials, what are the different materials for the collectors, solar cell, batteries, and much more. So this is about the solar energy. Second is the hydroelectric energy. So hydroelectric energy means जो जल है, जल का उपयोग एक एनर्जी से दूसरे एनर्जी को के फॉर्म में परिवर्तन के लिए हम करते हैं. So in this what we are doing, basically we are making a reservoir, a big reservoir, and that is filled with water. So this reservoir is basically called the dam. So we are having the dam filled with water, dam. So filled with water. So this is dam. Now transferring this water from this end to another end. So we are having some. So this is basically the gate, and water is flowing from this direction to this direction. This is the bottom. So water is flowing through this. This is called the pan stalk, and now it is having the Pelton wheel. So water is striking on this Pelton wheel. So the potential energy, because of this height of water, is converted into kinetic energy. And this kinetic energy, and because of Newton's second law of motion, this water strikes on this blades of the Pelton wheel. It is rotating very fast, and the energy of this is transferred to the generator. And finally, it is transferred to the transmission lines. So this way the kinetic potential energy is converted into kinetic energy, and finally this energy is transferred, is used to generate the electricity. So this way hydroelectric energy works. Next is the wind energy. So wind energy is nothing but it is the energy which is used. Means what is wind? Wind is basically the movement of air. It is generated when there is a temperature difference of the air. The air which is at the surface of the water is colder than the air which is at the surface of the land, and therefore the hot air rises up, and the space, that vacant space, is occupied by the cold waves, cold air, and a current is generated, and therefore these air move. A high speed current of air is generated, and the amount of energy, that kinetic energy, is used to generate to rotate the blades of the rotor, and therefore kinetic energy is generated. Similarly, we are having the biomass energy, geothermal energy, and OTEC and tidal waves. So these are the different form of non-conventional energy resources. So today we have discussed the analysis of non-renewable energy resources, and in the coming slides we will discuss more about the different non-renewable energy resources. Thank you.